everyone, and welcome back to another episode on Born to Talk with Callanthea. So, today's episode, as you can guess with the title, is Fast Your Way to Better Health. Just want to pop in a disclaimer, I am in no way, shape, or form a scientist or a doctor, but nonetheless, I have experienced fasting and I have been looking into it. I find it fascinating. And maybe you're watching this or listening to this because you're thinking about potentially going on a fasting journey. So, in today's episode, I'm going to first of all just kind of explore what even is fasting and what might that look like, okay? The different variations of it. And of course, I will be discussing the benefits of fasting as well and my own personal experience with it and what I want to do on my journey going forward. I am also going to give you a couple of links in the description as well, just to kind of check out for yourself should you want to actually start to fast as well. So, what even is fasting? Well, fasting is when you abstain from eating food for a certain amount of time. Okay, and typically fasting, people like to fast to get in an actual fasted state, where your body goes through certain processes, and I'll kind of outline that in a moment. But essentially, there's lots of cultures and even religions that have practiced fasting or continue to practice fasting to this day. And that's why I kind of wanted to mention a little bit about the different variations. When I've looked online, I've come across quite a few people, who obviously do different types of fasts. Some people like to fast once a week, some people once every month, some people literally fast 4 weeks where they just drink water for several weeks. And other people just do shorter intermittent fasting. So essentially where you might, for example, stop eating for say 16 hours, but then 8 hours in the day you allow yourself food and you just keep repeating that cycle. So essentially it comes in all kinds of forms really, and it's up to us what we want to actually do if we do decide to do fasting. Some people might want to start off small or start off a little bit more manageable, so doing, for example, 16/8. And other people might think, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to spend a whole day, 24 hours, not eating food and just drinking water and tea and coffee, right? Black tea or black coffee. So that is essentially what fasting is, right, on the face of it. But of course, there are reasons as to why people actually want to fast. Okay, I've already kind of touched upon, cultures and religion. Lots of people have certain reasons for fasting. But a lot of people, I would think, are drawn to fasting to get health benefits, right? I think the number one health benefit of why people come to fasting is to lose weight. But I think people as well are becoming more aware of the other benefits of fasting, which I think are so, so important. So, just before I discuss the benefits of fasting, I kind of want to touch upon a little bit of the process and what your body actually does when it is in a fasted state. So, of course, it depends on how long your fast is, and obviously all of us are slightly different. So, a certain state might be reached quicker with someone else. But essentially, when you fast for a prolonged period of time, we're probably talking 16 hours plus. Your body recognizes that your glucose levels, right, are depleting. And what happens when your glucose levels are depleting? Okay, your body will try to generate glucose and create all this glycogen. But when it is struggling to do that, okay, because you're not eating, and it's not got its regular energy or fuel source, it then starts to go through a process called ketosis. And again, I am not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, so please do look this up. But ketosis, from what I gather, is where you get these ketones, so your body creates ketones, and then it goes to the fat cells and eats away the fat in order to provide fuel for the body. So that is pretty cool, and that's probably why people do lose weight on a fast, right? So that is one of the processes that happens. But if you start to fast for longer, okay, then that continues to happen. More fat gets burned. But then again, there's also another process that starts to happen when you are abstaining from eating food. So there's a process called autophagy. And that is essentially where your body is finally able to go to other cells, so like your damaged cells, right? And clean it all out. And regenerate and rejuvenate, right? All these sort of cells that might be damaged. And there has been mention as well that it could potentially help with cancer cells as well. So any sort of bad cells that we have in his body, because we are not eating, our digestive system gets a rest. And then our body is able to sort of self heal and go to other places and other areas that don't normally get attention, and clean it out. And then I think as well, when you fast for even longer, so around 72 hours or more, that autophagy state is peaked. So, you can regenerate stem cells as well. So a lot does happen within our bodies. And I find that incredibly fascinating. So for me, yes, fasting, it's great if you can lose weight from fasting, but the fact that your body is able to self heal is just incredible. And again, I'll come on to the benefits, but when we're thinking about what it was like thousands of years ago, we did not have access to the amount of food, okay, the amount of resources that we have to this day. And we certainly wouldn't have been eating 3 times a day, lots of snacks in between every single day. Our bodies are literally built, are designed to withstand scarcity of food. So it's strange how now we probably do feel a little bit worried when we have a day without food, but it's actually really normal. Our bodies appreciate it. And again, do your own research on this. But what I've gathered is that when your body does go through ketosis, the ketones really do benefit your brain. And of course, autophagy as well. When you go through autophagy, your cells get rejuvenated. So many wonderful healing benefits happen. And it's just incredible that your body can switch from one sort of state of energy, okay, or of using fuel like glucose, to then be really smart enough to recognize that that's depleted and now it needs to use the ketones and use the fat within your body to generate fuel. So, think about it. We definitely would have had many, many days, thousands of years ago, where we would have gone without food. So we can actually go a very long time without food. As we know, we definitely need water to survive. Okay. I think, is it what, 3 days without water and you'll probably die? But food, we can go a lot longer without food. Our bodies are definitely capable of managing and using up energy in really cool ways. So that's kind of some aspects as to what happens when you do fast. So just thinking about those benefits then, of course you can lose weight because the ketosis kickstarts and burns the fat within your body. And it's also sort of proven to attack belly fat, which is notoriously stubborn to get rid of. Even I can sort of vouch for this. I don't look fat, but I definitely have a bigger belly than I used to have and a little bit more squishy. And I'm thinking, oh, it's kind of frustrating because it just doesn't seem to want to budge. No matter how many sit ups I might want to try or something like that, it's just not going to budge. So fasting is really cool for that. It will attack the stubborn belly fat as well. But I think the most important thing, again, this is just my personal sort of feelings on this, is the fact that our digestive system just gets attacked all the time. At least mine does. I'm a grazer. I love to eat and snack as much as possible. And now I work from home. Like, I don't really have discipline. Like, I will just open the fridge. I'll grab whatever I can. I'll make more food and I'll eat when I'm not even hungry, and that is not okay. Like, that's really bad, bad for my health, and it's not good for my digestive system. But many of us can probably relate to that at some point. We've been gluttonous, right? Or we do eat quite a lot throughout the day. And our digestive system needs to be able to have a rest. It is constantly overworked. And our other organs are probably overworked as well, trying to filter out all the toxins and the processed food that we have and the high amount of sugar and high amount of animal fat that people might have. It's absolutely crazy that it's got to go through so much and deal with so much. So it makes sense to be able to rest our digestive system. I feel like it's an act of self-love and self-care in being able to do that. And Another benefit is that you can get mental clarity when you fast as well. So, again, we're all different. It depends on how long you're doing your fast as well. But ketones are really good for the brain. And again, autophagy, when you're clearing out damaged cells, you can get mental clarity. And lots of people like to be able to do fasting to benefit from that because it's quite often that, we do get brain fog. Whether we have high sugar, we have lack of sleep, we're overworked, we're really stressed, as bodies are under some stress. But being able to give back to our digestive system and to be able to sort of just put the brakes on a little bit, to get that clarity in our minds is really amazing. Of course, as well, because the cells can help get cleaned out and get rejuvenated, it can also improve physical performance, improve sleep, improve your skin. Okay, so it's just incredible the vast amounts of benefits that you get. And essentially, we're thinking about healing, right? That we get to heal ourselves. So I'm really sort of intrigued about fasting, and I will be talking about my experiences now. So I first did a fast in 2018, so quite a few years ago, and all I did was drink water. Again, I'd found stuff on YouTube, and I was really curious about the healing aspects of it, and wanting just to be healthier. And I did it for 60 hours. I tried to do it for 72, 3 days, but I couldn't manage that. So basically, I was drinking water, everything was fine. That first day was a bit strange because obviously, I'm so used to eating. And I fasted on a Friday, I believe it was. Yeah, it was a Friday because I was going to do the whole weekend. And I was working, but it was a bit strange not having dinner, but I was fine drinking water. I did start to get headaches, and whatnot, but then on the second day I didn't feel that bad. I felt okay. So on the Saturday I felt all right. But then as it was getting later on, I definitely started to notice a bit more of a shift, so feeling more drained and fatigued. And then by the third day, so I was supposed to finish all Sunday, I had to break the fast because I was feeling so sick. And it was probably just my body going through that autophagy, like trying to get rid of everything. I was probably generating stem cells and everything, and my body was I just felt so ill from it. I know that sounds like a really negative thing, but I still think it was overall a positive experience, because again, I gave my digestive system a break. I probably did get some cleaning out of cells, and I did lose weight. So I broke it at 2.5 days, so about 60 hours. And I remember this was terrible, but I remember just like eating a lot of junk food, vegan junk food, but nonetheless junk food like chocolate and stuff. I did have fruit, I did have some healthy stuff, but I definitely sort of went straight back to all the processed shit, which is not the way to do it at all. If you're trying to be, a bit healthy and trying to look after your body, but it's like I'd had a few days, my body got to have a bit of chance to rest and heal. And I did lose weight. I think I lost almost half a stone, just from doing that for 2.5 days. So I was thinner. And of course, you do naturally gain that weight back, or most of that weight back, as you start to eat and obviously, drinking all your water and all your drinks and things. But it definitely made me feel like, right, I feel a little bit cleaner, I feel a little bit fresher. And now that I've eaten, I'm not feeling sick, I feel great. Like, I'm glad I did it. But yeah, that was hard. Like, it was really difficult. Anyway, so I kind of like left it at that and I didn't go back to it until literally last week. So I came across a podcast on YouTube, quite a popular one, The Diary of a CEO, with Stephen Bartlett, and he interviewed Dr. Mindy, who spoke about burning belly fat and all these other things in relation to fasting. And she was specifically talking mostly about a 36-hour fast. And it got me thinking, yeah, fasting, I should probably do that. Mostly because I know that recently I've been sort of really gluttonous and overeating and having really bad digestive problems, getting a lot of bloatation, a lot of discomfort, my nervous system being a bit out of whack, needing to go to the toilet more. And I know that that's really not good for me. And I thought, you know what? I knew instinctively that I just need to do this and give my digestive system a rest. So I was listening to it and I was really, again, getting really inspired and reflecting back on my previous fast that I did. And I thought, 36 hours, that's easy. I did 61. 36 hours is going to be a breeze. And a lot of people like to do 36-hour fasts starting from Sunday evening. So they finish the tea, they stop eating, and then they go all Monday without food, and then they have breakfast on Tuesday morning. And at first I thought, that sounds brilliant. That sounds really good. And then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to change those days because they don't really work out well for me. So I go shopping on a weekend. I get all this amazing food, have all these ideas of what to eat throughout the week. Working from home and knowing that all that good food is here is really difficult to avoid. So I thought, you know what, why not go shopping, enjoy my food, and then when it gets towards the end of the week, when we literally run out of the best food and the best meals, that's probably the best time for me to do a fast. And then obviously when I break it, it'll be the weekend and I can enjoy all that food again. So I did a fast last week on Friday. So I started Thursday evening. All Friday I went without food. And then Saturday I broke the fast. And yes, it's been a long, long time since I did a fast, but I really, really enjoyed it. And what was interesting is that on the Friday morning I woke up, I did get hungry. My belly was rumbling. It would normally have food. And it got to dinner time and it was really ramping up the hunger. Like, my belly was just rumbling so much. But what I found quite good to do is just literally sniff food. So I know that sounds a bit bizarre, but it made me really appreciate food more because I was thinking like I wouldn't normally sniff the food. I just mindlessly just eat it. And then I'm full and I'll just keep eating. But what it allowed me to do was, not taste it, but just smell it and really appreciate that. I did start to cook food just so it was kind of prepared. We had something that needed cooking. I think, did I make a curry? Yeah, like a vegan chicken curry. And it was really nice to be able to cook it and smell it, but obviously it was a bit tempting, but I didn't break it. And just the smell of it really sort of helped get me through and appreciate the food more. And I knew that I'd be able to have it on the Saturday for dinner. So that kind of, kept me going. And I walked to my mum's, so I was fine walking. I didn't feel faint or anything like that. I actually felt like I had more energy on that Friday. And again, mental clarity, my enthusiasm was up. I was feeling happier. I think my belly was just really glad to get a bit of a rest. And because I wasn't eating anything, I didn't get any bloatation, no horrible symptoms in my belly. Didn't need to go to the toilet like with the shits or anything like that. Sorry, I know that's a bit crude. But it's like I didn't have any issues like that. So it was really nice to kind of get away from that and just allow my body just to rest. Um, and then, yeah, I went to bed and it didn't really impact my sleep. I felt all right. And when I did kind of wake up through the night a little bit, which is normal for me, I didn't actually feel that hungry. But then on the Saturday morning, I definitely felt worse. I was probably going more through ketosis and maybe even starting autophagy by this point. I definitely started to feel a little bit worse, a little bit more weak, a little bit sickly. And I thought, well, it's fine because I've only got a few hours and then I'm going to be eating food again. So I broke the fast with a cacao drink, which is amazing. Absolutely love it. And it's mostly like fat and protein rather than carbs and sugars. So they do say that like if you can break your fast with like protein, it is better. It can kind of extend your fast a little bit. So I broke it with that, but then soon later I had like a smoothie anyway because I love fruit. So had a smoothie. Went shopping, got all this amazing food in, but I actually did feel like really sick Saturday throughout the day, even though I was eating food. I'm not entirely sure why that was, but this is just my intuition of my own body. I was thinking, fasting, my body's not really used to it. It's just had to go from this glucose state to this ketosis state. And now it's got its original source of fuel back. It's probably just trying to sort of calibrate and rebalance. But regardless, I did feel quite sick Saturday, and it was tough. by Sunday, I started feeling better and whatnot. But anyway, on the Saturday when I started eating, I'd weighed myself and I was 3 pounds lighter just from doing a fast for 36 hours. Technically, I did go 38 hours, but yeah, I was 3 pounds lighter. And I felt thinner, I felt clearer and whatnot, and better in my belly. But obviously, like I said, I did end up going through a little bit of sickliness. And then by Sunday, I started feeling better. And a few days later after that, so from today, I'm probably a pound lighter than what I was originally on the Friday. So I've probably gained about 2 pounds back from the 3 pounds that I've lost, which is kind of normal. You know what I mean? If you fast for 36 hours, you are going to lose weight, but you are going to gain that back or most of it back when you start eating. Um, but I'm hoping that when I do it again this Friday, that I'll lose a few more pounds and that it might just be like a half pound just being chipped off every week that I do it. Just to kind of get rid of the excess fat that is there. And as well, it's really good just to give your body a rest. So that's just a little bit of my experience. I feel like I know I'm waffling a little bit, but I'm definitely really inspired and really excited for it. And it's great for me to do a fast on a Friday as much as possible, especially with the way that I've been feeling. I want to, improve my health. And this podcast is all about sort of improving your life. And you can improve that with your physical health, your mental health, all kinds of things. So, this is something that I wanted to kind of share because I'm really sort of passionate and excited about it at the moment. And I do think that I'm going to do it regularly. I don't know whether I'm going to do it every week, but even just doing it once a month, just to give my digestive system a bit of a break. And knowing that I'm going to do it on a Friday, we don't really have that much food in on a Friday anyway. All the good stuff's gone. So it's like, it's fine, it doesn't bother me. And I get to appreciate food again, and appreciate the smell of it. And yeah, I don't know, I just find it really amazing. And allowing my body to go through its natural processes of ketosis and autophagy, I feel like I'm giving something back to my body. So that's just my experience. Obviously, I hope that you've learned something from this, or if you already know quite a lot about fasting and you just kind of want to listen to more and more people talk about it to keep you inspired, to keep thinking, okay, do I want to start this journey? Then I would say go for it, but definitely do research, definitely listen to your own body as well, your own signals. We're all different to some extent. So yeah, I'm going to put a few links in there for you to sort of have a look at and listen to. But of course, you can do your own research. It's like we all want to know something specific, right? We're all quite unique. So have a look into it. And if you do start your fasting journey, I hope it's really good for you. And thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, stay true to you. And hopefully, I'll see you soon.